Hello my friends, welcome to Volshebnik Scale Modeling Studio. Today I will share a video from Scale Model Show in Lithuania, one of 3 Baltic countries. This time Scale Model Show was arranged in the old town of Klaipėda city. The venue is not big, but location is great. In this video I will show aviation models in all scales. But not only models, I will introduce you to Baltic modelers. And we start with Valdis Kroniņš, a man who's been so deep into scale modeling for the last 25 years that he can probably assemble a model kit with his eyes closed. And no, that's not exaggeration, it's just muscle memory after all those tiny parts. His journey into a wonderful world of plastic aircraft started with military planes. Because, let's face it, who doesn't love a Fokker wood with camouflage that screams, "Try and see me"? He says, military aircraft, what's not to love? They are sleek, aerodynamic and perfectly engineered to have exactly nothing unnecessary. Back when he started, he dabbled in a 72nd scale, probably because he had normal-sized hands. But as his passion and hands grow, he upgraded to the 48 scale. Why? Because it offers more details, of course. And also because who doesn't want to show off the tiniest rivets and bolts of miniature jet? More details, more awesome. By the way, if you want to see more of his models in that rotary mirror, please write in a comment and I will make one for you. Valdis' collection is a bit of a revolving door situation. He has over 30 models, but they come and go. Sometimes they break, he says, usually because I drop them or my cat launched a surprise attack. I'd like to think they've gone to the great plastic battlefield in the sky, claimed by the modeling angels as a worthy sacrifice. He pauses for the dramatic effect and adds with a wink, "May they rest in pieces." But when Valdis isn't accidentally offering his models to the heavens, he's building new ones. His loyalty belongs to Edward Model Kits. He's a proud fanboy. The detailing is fantastic, the aftermarket parts are spot on. I should probably be getting paid for this promo, he laughed. Valdis can usually be found in the Edward Model Builders Facebook group, posting his latest creations under the name Victor Kilo. Yep, that's a codename, because every great modeler deserves a great alias. At the end of the day, Valdis' collection may change, but one thing remains the same, his undying love for military aircraft. The next modeler is Krzysztof Fitch from Poland, and he is Cup winner of the show. He has been a modeler since he was a kid, because why play with toys when you can build them yourself, right? But his real journey into serious modeling began about 35 years ago, when he started competing in contests and proving that he is not just a hobbyist, but a master of miniature aviation. Krzysztof started out building in the 72nd scale, and to this day he still thinks it's the best scale. It's a perfect balance of size and detail, he says. But as years went by and his eyes had a few more birthdays, he upgraded to 48 and 32nd scales. Let's just say, the larger the model, the kinder it is on the eye side, he loves. Plus, bigger planes mean more room to show off those tiny engine parts, and Krzysztof is all about high detailing. Aviation has always been Krzysztof's thing. It might have something to do with the fact that he spent his entire life near a military airport. When jets are practically taking off in your backyard, it's hard not to get inspired. His collection of more than 100 completed models is a testament to his dedication. And as an electrician by trade, he swears that modeling has improved his steady hand a useful skill whether you are wiring up a house or attaching the tiniest parts to the model airplane. When it comes to building, Krzysztof isn't just grabbing kits off the shelf. Oh no, he prefers to make parts himself. Why use ready-made parts when you can spend 10 times the effort making them from scratch, he says, half joking, half serious. He's a perfectionist and proud of it. That's why he takes time, building only 1-2 models per year. After all, good things take time. Take his Mi-4 helicopter for example. It took him 1 year to complete, but for Krzysztof it was worth every minute. He comments, I want to make a version that flew in the Polish Air Force. Mi-4 was popular with Polish pilots and I've always loved its design. He built it with open hatches to showcase the engine and drive systems, because let's face it, what's the point of building something this cool if you can't show off the inner workings? And with the models this big, the details are on the full display. Krzysztof's work is labor of love. Whether it's recreating military aircraft with painstaking precision or crafting his own parts from scratch. One thing's for sure, he is no hurry, but when the model is finished, it's a showstopper. Now meet Daugirdas Pranaitis, a Lithuanian modeler who have been gluing plastic parts together since childhood, because who needs Lego when you've got airplane kits? While he dabbled in scale modeling as a kid, things got serious about 20 years ago. That's when he joined the legendary Sparna 72 Club, a place where modelers gather to talk tiny planes and obsess over paint colors that only modelers can appreciate. It was love at first glue, Daugirdas jokes. For a few years, he even worked at the Lithuanian Aviation Museum, which is basically a scale modeler's version of being a rock star. He says, I mean, planes are great and all, but tiny planes, oh, that's where the real magic happens. Most of his work focuses on 72nd scale, the classic choice for aircraft modelers, who enjoy tiny details and tiny tweezers. With around 200 models under his belt, Daugirdas has been building everything from sleek jets to rugged tanks. Some of his creations have been found their way into private collections, which is just a fancy way of saying, people pay me for my art, thank you very much. But it's not just about the models. Daugirdas swears that his modeling skills have practical applications too. Need to fix something around the house? No problem. Modeling has taught me how to handle the tiniest parts, so fixing a loose kitchen cabinet feels like child play. At the end of the day, Daugirdas is a modeler who is in it for the long haul. After all, there are still hundreds of tiny parts waiting to be glued together. Audrius Remeikis is a man on a mission. Born in Lithuania, now lives in Estonia, he's been crafting models out of both plastic and cardboard for what seems like forever. But here is a twist. Since finding Lithuanian models that are even somewhat accurate is about as rare as finding a unicorn, Audrius decided to take matters into his own hands. Why not just build them from scratch, he thought one day, as if creating something from zero was the most logical and easy decision ever. Spoiler, it wasn't. But Audrius is not one to back down from a challenge. Once he started, the idea snowballed. What if I share my creations with others, he mused. And of course, what if I recoup some of the costs for all this plastic and cardboard I keep buying? And just like that, Audrius dove headfirst into the world of making and selling his own model kits. Starting out was like trying to put together a model kit without instructions. But hey, Audrius is nothing if not persistent. He took it step by step, learning 3D modeling, creating master models, making silicone molds, casting in resin, vacuum forming parts, writing instructions, designing packaging, and dabbling in 3D printing. Piece of cake, right? Note that cake was probably made of plastic and required assembly. After a few models, the next big idea hit him: why not create a whole series of models? Something recognizable, a brand, maybe even a name people would know. And so, RSC's Hobbies was born. Okay, born might be a bit much, it's more like it materialized out of the Audrius passion and sheer willpower. It's not really a company, he says, more like a hobby enthusiast hybrid run by one guy with a lot of coffee. Today you can find Audrius models on scalemate.com, where they are available for order. I will put a link in the description of the video. In conclusion, this is a man who took a hobby, turned it into the art, and then built a business out of it, all while surrounded by plastic, cardboard and a lot of glue. Next modeler is Mindaugas, a man from Lithuania who has been deep into scale modeling since the age of 8, because what better way to spend your childhood than building miniature versions of giant flying machines? While other kids were playing with action figures, Mindaugas was creating an entire air fleet in his bedroom. I've tried building all sorts of models, he says, but airplanes stole my heart. I mean, they're basically birds with engines, what's not to love? Mindaugas has been creating beautiful replicas for decades, and his collection has grown to an impressive 80 models. I'd have more, he admits, but many of them flew off to other collections, including the Lithuania Aviation Museum. Yes folks, he's a man whose work is literally museum-worthy. Not every modeler can say that. On average, Mindaugas builds around 5 to 6 models per year, which means his workbench sees a lot of action. His crown jewel, the mighty Martin T4M, a big, bold and beautiful torpedo bomber that looks like it's ready to launch off a carrier deck. It's a challenging model, he says. Definitely not for rookies. You need a lot of putty, the geometry is tricky, and don't even get me started on the rigging. He just shudders at the thought of those delicate lines. If you can get through that, you basically scale modeling superhero. One of the proudest moments in Mindaugas' modeling career was seeing 20 of his creations displayed at the Lithuanian Aviation Museum's exhibition. It is cool to think that something I built is sitting in the museum, he says with a smile. It's like my models are now part of history. So, if you ever encounter us and find yourself at the Aviation Museum, make sure to check out the section filled with Mindaugas' masterpieces. And if you spot that beautiful, complicated Martin T4M torpedo bomber with its bright colors and impressive rigging, just remember, only a true modeling legend could pull that off. And there you have it. Tiny planes, big dreams, and enough glue to keep the world of the scale modeling flying high. From the creative minds of our talented builders to the skies or shelves, where their masterpieces now soar. If this video has inspired you to pick up a model kit or just appreciate the beauty of miniature aviation, then our mission is complete. Remember, in the world of modeling there is always room for one more plane, or 20. Also, share in comments if you see yourself in one of these stories about modelers, or tell your own story. This is always interesting for others to learn about other paths in scale modeling. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your model steady, your hands glue-free, good luck with that, and your imagination soaring. Bye bye.